Urgent message: God is trying to protect you. Don't ignore this, don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because something was supposed to touch your life recently that never made it through, and you may not even realize how serious that was. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear explains the delays, the silence, the sudden pauses, and the strange feeling that something unseen stepped in. Listen closely. God's protection around you has intensified, not because you're weak, but because your destiny is sensitive right now. Don't scroll, because sensitive seasons require divine covering. Listen to this. What felt like disappointment, confusion, or missed timing was actually intervention. Don't scroll, because heaven blocked what your heart would have trusted but your soul would have suffered from. Listen to this. There was a path you were about to walk down that looked right on the surface, felt familiar, even comforting, but carried consequences you couldn't see yet. Don't scroll, because unseen danger doesn't announce itself loudly. Listen to this. God moved quietly, closing doors without explanation, creating distance where attachment was forming, interrupting plans that felt almost right. Don't scroll, because almost right can be the most dangerous place to stay. Listen to this. You may have questioned yourself lately, wondering why things stalled, why people went silent, why momentum disappeared. Don't scroll, because that wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Listen to this. Redirection designed to protect your peace, your heart, and your future alignment. Don't scroll, because protection doesn't always feel gentle at first. Listen to this. Sometimes it feels like loss before it feels like relief. Don't scroll, because God will remove what your emotions cling to if it threatens what your destiny requires. Listen to this. You were being watched closely in the spiritual realm, not because you did something wrong, but because you're stepping into something meaningful. Don't scroll, because meaningful callings attract interference. Listen to this. That's why your intuition has been louder lately, why you felt uneasy even when everything looked fine. Don't scroll, because intuition is how God whispers before action is required. Listen to this. Those gut feelings were warnings, not anxiety. Don't scroll, because anxiety drains, intuition guides. Listen to this. You listen just enough for protection to activate fully. Don't scroll, because obedience doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like hesitation that saves you. Listen to this. You may have noticed signs during this period, repeating numbers appearing when you felt unsure. Don't scroll, because angel numbers show up when divine guidance is active. Listen to this. 111 when new direction is being seeded, for 44 when protection and foundation are being reinforced, 55 when change is necessary for safety. Don't scroll, because these weren't random. Listen to this. They were confirmations that you were being guarded. Don't scroll, because God does not warn without reason. Listen to this. Someone or something was not aligned with where you're headed, and instead of allowing harm, heaven created distance. Don't scroll, because distance can be mercy. Listen to this. Especially when your heart is open and generous. Don't scroll, because generous hearts are vulnerable to manipulation. Listen to this. God stepped in before confusion could drain you, before emotional entanglement could weaken you, before promises without substance could delay you. Don't scroll, because your future requires clarity. Listen to this. Clarity does not come from forcing answers. It comes from protection creating space. Don't scroll, because space allows truth to surface. Listen to this. This protection is also connected to love. Don't scroll, because soulmate alignment is delicate. Listen to this. When you're close to meeting or aligning with someone meant for you, counterfeit connections often appear first. Don't scroll, because counterfeits feel familiar but lead nowhere. Listen to this. God removed what would have distracted you from real connection. Don't scroll, because real love will not cost you peace. Listen to this. You were being spared from emotional exhaustion disguised as passion. Don't scroll, because exhaustion is not love. Listen to this. Love builds, not drains. Don't scroll, because your heart is meant to be safe. Listen to this. That's why certain conversations never happened, certain messages never came, certain plans fell apart at the last moment. Don't scroll, because those interruptions were intentional. Listen to this. Intentional protection does not always come with explanations. Don't scroll, because explanations can come later. Safety must come first. Listen to this. You may feel a strange calm now mixed with unanswered questions. Don't scroll, because calm is the sign that protection worked. Listen to this. Danger leaves residue, protection leaves peace. Don't scroll, because peace is settling in you even if your mind still wants answers. Listen to this. Answers will come when they won't hurt you anymore. Don't scroll, because God never reveals what would overwhelm you. Listen to this. He reveals what strengthens you. Don't scroll, because strength is what you're building now. Listen to this. You're not being delayed, you're being positioned. Don't scroll, because positioning determines outcome. Listen to this. Your life is being steered away from something that would have cost you time, clarity, and emotional stability. Don't scroll, because time is sacred in this season. Listen to this. You don't have years to lose to confusion anymore. Don't scroll, because your calling requires focus. Listen to this. Focus is protected through separation. Don't scroll, because not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Listen to this. Some people are removed not because they're bad, but because they're misaligned. Don't scroll, because misalignment creates friction. Listen to this. Friction drains momentum. Don't scroll, because momentum matters now. Listen to this. God is shielding you while you grow into the version of yourself that can hold what's coming. Don't scroll, because what's coming requires emotional maturity. Listen to this. Maturity comes through boundaries, not explanations. Don't scroll, because boundaries are divine too. Listen to this. You were protected from overgiving, over-explaining, and overextending yourself. Don't scroll, because overextension leads to burnout. Listen to this. Burnout would have delayed your blessings. Don't scroll, because blessings arrive when energy is preserved. Listen to this. Preserved energy is what you have now. Don't scroll, because you feel it. Listen to this. The urgency you feel is not fear, it's awareness. Don't scroll, because awareness is awakening. Listen to this. Your spiritual senses are sharper because you're being prepared. Don't scroll, because preparation always comes before expansion. Listen to this. You are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not imagining this. Don't scroll, because God is actively involved in your protection. Listen to this. Even now, even as you listen, alignment is tightening around you. Don't scroll, because this message reached you on purpose. Listen to this. What was meant to harm you has been blocked, what was meant to confuse you has been removed, and what is meant for you is being guarded carefully. Don't scroll, because the next part reveals what exactly was kept away from you and why knowing it later will bring relief, not regret. Stay here, because this protection is only the beginning. Don't scroll. Listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because now we're going deeper into what that protection actually saved you from. Stay with me, because this part connects the signs, the numbers, and the feelings you couldn't explain. Listen closely. When God blocks something from your life, it's not always because it's evil. Sometimes it's because it's almost right but would have slowly pulled you off course. Don't scroll, because near misses are Often more dangerous than obvious threats. Listen to this. You were standing at the edge of an emotional agreement you didn't consciously sign but were about to live out. Don't scroll, because emotional contracts can bind longer than spoken ones. Listen to this. God saw the long-term outcome while you were focused on the short-term comfort. Don't scroll, because comfort can disguise compromise. Listen to this. That's why you felt a strange resistance in your spirit even when your heart was open. Don't scroll, because resistance is divine intelligence activating. Listen to this. You may have noticed angel numbers showing up right before plans fell through or conversations stalled. Don't scroll, because those moments weren't random. Listen to this. Seeing 22 repeatedly was a signal that balance was being restored before imbalance could take root. Don't scroll, because imbalance would have required you to overgive, overweight, or overexplain. Listen to this. God stepped in before that pattern could restart. Don't scroll, because old patterns don't belong in new seasons. Listen to this. You may have seen 333 when you were questioning yourself. Don't scroll, because 333 appears when mind, heart, and intuition need to realign. Listen to this. You were being guided back to your inner truth. Don't scroll, because inner truth is where protection lives. Listen to this. What God blocked wasn't just a situation, it was an identity you were about to step into that wasn't aligned with who you're becoming. Don't scroll, because destiny requires evolution. Listen to this. Staying connected to something misaligned would have slowed your growth. Don't scroll, because growth cannot be rushed but it can be delayed. Listen to this. Delays were removed by separation. Don't scroll, because separation can be sacred. Listen to this. You may have felt moments of loneliness after the block. Don't scroll, because loneliness is often the echo left behind when attachment is removed. Listen to this. But attachment is not love. Don't scroll, because love strengthens. Listen to this. Attachment drains. Don't scroll, because God will always remove what drains you in seasons where you need strength. Listen to this. Your strength is required now because something significant is ahead. Don't scroll, because significant callings attract subtle distractions. Listen to this. Distractions don't look harmful, they look consuming. Don't scroll, because consuming things quietly steal time, energy, and focus. Listen to this. God guarded your focus. Don't scroll, because focus is currency in this season. Listen to this. You don't have the luxury of emotional fog anymore. Don't scroll, because clarity is essential. Listen to this. That's why 444 may have appeared when you chose peace over engagement. Don't scroll, because 444 represents divine protection and reinforced boundaries. Listen to this. Boundaries were established not to isolate you, but to stabilize you. Don't scroll, because stability is required before expansion. Listen to this. Expansion is coming, but only after grounding. Don't scroll, because grounded growth lasts. Listen to this. You were being protected from making emotional decisions while spiritually vulnerable. Don't scroll, because vulnerability without wisdom can lead to regret. Listen to this. Regret was prevented through interruption. Don't scroll, because interruption is mercy in disguise. Listen to this. You might replay moments wondering, what if? Don't scroll, because what ifs are the mind trying to re-enter closed doors. Listen to this. Closed doors don't need revisiting. Don't scroll, because they close to protect what's ahead. Listen to this. God is not taking things from you. He's taking things off you. Don't scroll, because what's removed lightens the load. Listen to this. Lightened loads allow you to move faster when it's time. Don't scroll, because timing matters more than speed. Listen to this. Divine timing does not rush clarity. Don't scroll, because clarity must settle into the body. Listen to this. You may have noticed that even though questions remain, your anxiety has decreased. Don't scroll, because peace is the residue of protection. Listen to this. Danger leaves restlessness. Don't scroll, because safety leaves calm. Listen to this. You were being saved from emotional whiplash, mixed signals, and promises that sounded good but lacked consistency. Don't scroll, because inconsistency erodes self-trust. Listen to this. God will never allow anything that slowly teaches you to doubt yourself. Don't scroll, because your intuition is meant to be sharpened, not silenced. Listen to this. That's why 555 may have appeared during moments of surrender. Don't scroll, because 555 signals necessary change. Listen to this. Change was needed not because you were wrong, but because you were ready for better. Don't scroll, because better requires release. Listen to this. Release doesn't always feel empowering at first. Don't scroll, because it can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. Listen to this. Freedom is beginning to register now. Don't scroll, because you're breathing differently, thinking differently, responding differently. Listen to this. Those changes are evidence that protection worked. Don't scroll, because you are no longer pulled toward what drained you. Listen to this. You are being drawn toward what stabilizes you. Don't scroll, because stabilization is the foundation of lasting love, purpose, and peace. Listen to this. Soulmate energy does not arrive when you're depleted. Don't scroll, because it arrives when you're whole. Listen to this. God removed what would have met you in lack. Don't scroll, because lack-based connections repeat old wounds. Listen to this. You are stepping into alignment-based connections now. Don't scroll, because alignment feels calm, not chaotic. Listen to this. You may notice 6 hours 66 minutes or 6:06 when you feel emotionally balanced. Don't scroll, because those numbers reflect harmony being restored in the heart space. Listen to this. Harmony allows discernment. Don't scroll, because discernment protects future choices. Listen to this. The protection you experienced wasn't just about avoiding pain. Don't scroll, because it was about preserving joy. Listen to this. Joy requires emotional safety. Don't scroll, because safety allows you to open without fear. Listen to this. Fear no longer has authority here. Don't scroll, because fear was replaced by awareness. Listen to this. Awareness doesn't panic. Don't scroll, because it observes. Listen to this. You are observing your life differently now. Don't scroll, because perspective shifted. Listen to this. Perspective shift is a sign of spiritual awakening. Don't scroll, because awakening changes priorities. Listen to this. You no longer chase closure. Don't scroll, because closure happens internally. Listen to this. God handled what you didn't need to confront directly. Don't scroll, because confrontation would have cost you peace. Listen to this. Peace was protected because peace is the platform for what's next. Don't scroll, because what's next requires a calm heart and clear mind. Listen to this. You were shielded from emotional noise so you could hear divine direction clearly. Don't scroll, because direction is coming. Listen to this. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily. Don't scroll, because steady guidance lasts. Listen to this. You are not behind. You are exactly where protection placed you. Don't scroll, because placement matters more than pace. Listen to this. The universe does not misplace those it guards. Don't scroll, because you are being positioned carefully. Listen to this. What was blocked will not return. Don't scroll, because it served its purpose. Listen to this. What's coming will not require you to shrink, chase, or question your worth. Don't scroll, because worth is now assumed. Listen to this. The next part reveals how this protection directly connects to the blessing ahead and why ignoring these signs would have delayed what's meant for you. Stay here, because this is unfolding exactly as it should. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because now we are arriving at the reason the protection had to last this long and why the signs have been repeating with more clarity than ever before. Stay with me, because this layer reveals how God has been rearranging your inner world while guarding your outer world. Listen closely. Protection is not only about blocking harm. It's about preparing capacity. Don't scroll, because blessings require space to land safely. Listen to this. If what was coming had arrived earlier, it would have collided with fear, attachment, or exhaustion still living in your system. Don't scroll, because collision creates confusion. Listen to this. God slowed the timeline so your nervous system could reset, your intuition could sharpen, and your discernment could mature. Don't scroll, because maturity is what keeps blessings from turning into burdens. Listen to this. You may have noticed angel numbers appearing not during panic, but during moments of stillness. Don't scroll, because that shift matters. Listen to this. Seeing 77 when you chose to trust instead of control was confirmation that spiritual authority was being restored within you. Don't scroll, because 7 represents divine wisdom activated through surrender. Listen to this. Surrender is not giving up, it's releasing what God already handled. Don't scroll, because you were never meant to carry everything alone. Listen to this. The protection extended because your heart was learning how to rest without answers. Don't scroll, because rest is a spiritual discipline. Listen to this. Rest signals trust. Don't scroll, because trust invites clarity. Listen to this. Clarity does not shout, it settles. Don't scroll, because settled clarity is what you're feeling now. Listen to this. The reason God blocked certain people, conversations, or opportunities is because they would have required you to compromise your intuition. Don't scroll, because intuition is the compass of destiny. Listen to this. Once intuition is ignored repeatedly, people drift off course slowly. Don't scroll, because God intervenes before drift becomes distance. Listen to this. You were being saved from emotional erosion, not just emotional pain. Don't scroll, because erosion happens quietly. Listen to this. That's why the intervention was quiet too. Don't scroll, because God does not always remove things dramatically. Listen to this. Sometimes He simply makes them stop working. Don't scroll, because what stops working is no longer supported by divine flow. Listen to this. You may have felt frustrated when effort no longer produced results. Don't scroll, because frustration was a signal to release. Listen to this. Release is how alignment begins. Don't scroll, because alignment does not negotiate with resistance. Listen to this. It redirects. Don't scroll, because redirection is protection in motion. Listen to this. The divine number 818 or 8. 88 may have appeared when you felt a sudden sense of self-worth returning. Don't scroll, because 8 represents karmic balance and rightful exchange. Listen to this. Rightful exchange means you no longer give more than you receive emotionally. Don't scroll, because imbalance drains destiny. Listen to this. God corrected imbalance before it could become your normal again. Don't scroll, because your new normal requires mutuality. Listen to this. Mutuality in love, effort, and respect. Don't scroll, because respect is non-negotiable now. Listen to this. The protection stayed active until your boundaries became internal, not reactive. Don't scroll, because internal boundaries are stable. Listen to this. Stable boundaries don't need defending. Don't scroll, because they're felt energetically. Listen to this. People who are not aligned feel that and fall away naturally. don't scroll. Because forcing separation is unnecessary when alignment shifts. Listen to this, you may have noticed fewer emotional triggers lately. Don't scroll, because triggers lose power when lessons are integrated. Listen to this, integration is why you're seeing 333 during moments of emotional neutrality. Don't scroll, because 333 signals harmony between mind, heart, and spirit. Listen to this, harmony creates coherence. Don't scroll, because coherence attracts what matches it. Listen to this, God is not preparing you for chaos disguised as excitement. Don't scroll, because chaos was part of the old pattern. Listen to this, the new pattern is calm clarity. Don't scroll, because calm clarity sustains long-term blessings. Listen to this, the protection also shielded you from spiritual fatigue. Don't scroll, because giving without replenishment weakens discernment. Listen to this, weakened discernment leads to repeated mistakes. Don't scroll, because repeated mistakes delay destiny. Listen to this, God shortened the delay by intervening early. Don't scroll, because early intervention is mercy. Listen to this, you were not being punished by silence, you were being preserved by it. Don't scroll, because preservation keeps your essence intact. Listen to this, your essence is what's needed for what's coming. Don't scroll, because what's coming requires authenticity. Listen to this, authenticity cannot thrive in environments that demand performance or over-explanation. Don't scroll, because God removed you from those dynamics. Listen to this, the divine number 444 may have shown up when you chose not to engage in something that felt off. Don't scroll, because 444 is the number of divine protection and reinforced foundations. Listen to this, foundations were being reinforced so you wouldn't build your future on shaky ground. Don't scroll, because shaky ground collapses under pressure. Listen to this, pressure will come with growth. Don't scroll, because growth stretches capacity. Listen to this, God made sure your foundation could hold it. Don't scroll, because holding blessings requires strength. Listen to this, strength is built quietly through consistency. Don't scroll, because consistency is not glamorous. Listen to this, but it is powerful. Don't scroll, because powerful people are not reactive. Listen to this, they are responsive. Don't scroll, because response comes from clarity. Listen to this, clarity is now available to you without effort. Don't scroll, because effort was part of the old survival mode. Listen to this, survival mode has been deactivated. Don't scroll, because you are no longer just getting through. Listen to this, you are preparing to thrive. Don't scroll, because thriving requires emotional safety. Listen to this, safety was established through distance, timing, and blocked access. Don't scroll, because not everyone deserves access to your heart. Listen to this, access is earned through consistency, respect, and alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment is the standard now. Listen to this, you may have seen 555 during moments you felt ready to let go of outcomes. Don't scroll, because 555 signals transformation that frees energy forward. Listen to this, forward energy feels lighter. Don't scroll, because you're not carrying unresolved weight anymore. Listen to this, that lightness is confirmation that protection did its job. Don't scroll, because protection leaves clarity in its wake. Listen to this, clarity does not need reassurance. Don't scroll, because it feels settled in the body. Listen to this, your body has been responding before your mind catches up. Don't scroll, because the body recognizes safety first. Listen to this, safety allows expansion without fear. Don't scroll, because fear blocks receiving. Listen to this, receiving is now possible. Don't scroll, because you are not bracing for loss anymore. Listen to this, you are open without being exposed. Don't scroll, because exposure without safety leads to harm. Listen to this. Safety without isolation leads to growth. Don't scroll, because that balance is what God was establishing. Listen to this. You were protected from rushing into something that would have required you to abandon yourself. Don't scroll, because abandonment of self is the cost of misalignment. Listen to this. God refused that cost for you. Don't scroll, because your worth is not negotiable. Listen to this. The protection will begin to feel like permission now. Don't scroll, because permission arrives when fear leaves. Listen to this. Fear has been replaced by awareness. Don't scroll, because awareness sees clearly. Listen to this. You are seeing your life differently now. Don't scroll, because perspective shifted. Listen to this. Perspective shift is a sign of spiritual growth. Don't scroll, because growth prepares you to recognize what is truly meant for you. Listen to this. What is meant for you will not arrive with confusion. Don't scroll, because confusion was filtered out. Listen to this. The next phase will feel simple even if it's significant. Don't scroll, because simplicity is how God moves when things are aligned. Listen to this. Complexity belonged to the old chapter. Don't scroll, because that chapter is closing fully now. Listen to this. You don't need to reopen doors to understand why they closed. Don't scroll, because understanding will come through peace. Listen to this. Peace is your confirmation. Don't scroll, because confirmation does not always look like answers. Listen to this. Sometimes it looks like calm replacing anxiety. Don't scroll, because anxiety was never meant to guide you. Listen to this. Guidance comes through stillness. Don't scroll, because stillness is where God speaks most clearly. Listen to this. You are hearing Him now. Don't scroll, because this message reached you at the exact moment your heart was ready to receive it. Listen to this. What you were protected from will no longer tempt you. Don't scroll, because temptation fades when clarity arrives. Listen to this. The next part reveals how this clarity opens the door to something new and why you won't have to question its safety when it arrives. Stay here, because this unfolding is intentional. Don't scroll. Listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because this is the phase where protection turns into preparation for arrival. Stay with me, because this layer reveals why God didn't just block danger but also reshaped your expectations, your desires, and your sense of timing. Listen closely. Protection is only half the story. The other half is positioning. Don't scroll, because positioning determines what you can safely receive without losing yourself. Listen to this. God didn't just move obstacles out of your way. He moved you into a stronger inner posture. Don't scroll, because posture decides whether blessings feel overwhelming or natural. Listen to this. You may have noticed that things you once wanted no longer pull at you the same way. Don't scroll, because detachment is not loss, it's elevation. Listen to this. Elevation allows you to see clearly what fits and what doesn't. Don't scroll, because clarity is the language God uses when it's time to advance. Listen to this. The protection stayed in place until your emotional reflexes changed. Don't scroll, because reflexes reveal conditioning. Listen to this. Your conditioning used to be to chase clarity, to explain yourself, to fix uncertainty. Don't scroll, because uncertainty felt unsafe. Listen to this. But now you pause, you observe, you listen inward. Don't scroll, because that shift is maturity. Listen to this. Maturity is what allows destiny to move without chaos. Don't scroll, because chaos was never meant to follow you forward. Listen to this. The divine numbers appearing now confirm this transition. Don't scroll, because confirmation arrives when lessons are complete. Listen to this. seeing 1:11 or 11:11 now is not about beginnings that rush, it's about identity alignment. Don't scroll, because 1:11 marks the moment you stand in who you are without shrinking. Listen to this. Shrinking is no longer an option for you. Don't scroll, because God protected you from environments that required you to be smaller to be accepted. Listen to this. Acceptance that costs authenticity is not divine. Don't scroll, because divine acceptance expands you. Listen to this. You may have seen 2:22 during moments when you chose patience over reaction. Don't scroll, because 2:22 signals balance and divine partnership alignment. Listen to this. Partnership does not mean dependency. Don't scroll, because dependency weakens discernment. Listen to this. God broke dependency cycles before they could form again. Don't scroll, because your future requires strength, not attachment. Listen to this. Strength allows you to love without fear. Don't scroll, because fear-based love drains purpose. Listen to this. The protection also refined your desires. Don't scroll, because what you desire now is steadier, simpler, and more grounded. Listen to this. That change didn't happen by accident. Don't scroll, because it happened through repeated redirections. Listen to this. Redirections that frustrated you at first but later brought relief. Don't scroll, because relief is how you know something wasn't meant to continue. Listen to this. God allowed certain things to fall away gently so you wouldn't have to grieve violently. Don't scroll, because violent endings leave residue. Listen to this. Residue can contaminate new beginnings. Don't scroll, because God wanted your new chapter clean. Listen to this. Cleanliness here means emotional clarity, not perfection. Don't scroll, because perfection is not required. Listen to this. Honesty is. Don't scroll, because honesty keeps blessings from turning into burdens. Listen to this. The divine number 444 may have appeared when you chose boundaries without guilt. Don't scroll, because 444 represents reinforced protection and solid foundations. Listen to this. Foundations were being strengthened because what's coming will need stability. Don't scroll, because instability creates stress. Listen to this. Stress blocks enjoyment. Don't scroll, because enjoyment is part of God's design for your life. Listen to this. You were not created to survive blessings. You were created to enjoy them. Don't scroll, because enjoyment requires safety. Listen to this. Safety was established through distance, pauses, and unanswered questions. Don't scroll, because unanswered questions forced you to build trust inward instead of outward. Listen to this. Inward trust is the anchor that holds you steady when external things shift. Don't scroll, because external things always shift. Listen to this. God wanted your steadiness internal so circumstances wouldn't control you. Don't scroll, because control belongs to fear. Listen to this. Fear has been losing its grip on you. Don't scroll, because awareness replaced it. Listen to this. Awareness doesn't rush. Don't scroll, because it discerns. Listen to this. Discernment is why you no longer feel the urge to explain yourself to be understood. Don't scroll, because understanding will come naturally to those aligned. Listen to this. Misaligned people will fall away without confrontation. Don't scroll, because confrontation is not always necessary for closure. Listen to this. Closure often arrives as indifference. Don't scroll, because indifference means the lesson has integrated. Listen to this. Integration is what you're experiencing now. Don't scroll, because you feel steadier even when nothing dramatic has changed externally. Listen to this. Internal change always precedes external movement. Don't scroll, because God works from the inside out. Listen to this. The divine number 555 may have shown up when you felt ready to move forward without knowing exact details. Don't scroll, because 5 55 signals transformation that clears the path ahead. Listen to this. Clearing does not mean rushing into the next thing. Don't scroll, because it means removing resistance. Listen to this. Resistance used to show up as anxiety, overthinking, and second-guessing. Don't scroll, because those patterns have weakened. Listen to this. Weakened patterns cannot control your decisions anymore. Don't scroll, because your decisions are now guided by peace. Listen to this. Peace is not passive. Don't scroll, because it is discerning. Listen to this. Discerning peace recognizes when something feels safe versus exciting. Don't scroll, because excitement without safety is not sustainable. Listen to this. God is not sending you something that requires constant emotional adrenaline. Don't scroll, because adrenaline burns out the nervous system. Listen to this. Your nervous system has been recalibrated to recognize calm as attraction. Don't scroll, because calm is where long-term blessings live. Listen to this. The protection also ensured you didn't mistake intensity for destiny. Don't scroll, because intensity can be deceptive. Listen to this. Destiny feels grounded, not urgent. Don't scroll, because urgency pressures decisions. Listen to this. God removed urgency so wisdom could lead. Don't scroll, because wisdom chooses slowly and clearly. Listen to this. The divine number 6 hours 66 minutes or 6. May 6th have appeared during moments of emotional balance. Don't scroll, because those numbers reflect harmony returning to your inner world. Listen to this. Harmony allows you to hear God's guidance without noise. Don't scroll, because noise has been reduced intentionally. Listen to this. Reduced noise allows intuition to surface gently. Don't scroll, because intuition does not shout. Listen to this. It nudges. Don't scroll, because you are listening better now. Listen to this. Listening changed your trajectory. Don't scroll, because obedience often looks like patience. Listen to this. Patience is not waiting in fear. Don't scroll, because it's waiting in trust. Listen to this. Trust is why you no longer chase reassurance. Don't scroll, because reassurance is unnecessary when peace is present. Listen to this. Peace has been your companion lately. Don't scroll, because that's your sign. Listen to this. Signs are no longer dramatic because clarity has settled. Don't scroll, because settled clarity doesn't need constant validation. Listen to this. The protection has shifted into permission now. Don't scroll, because permission is what allows movement without resistance. Listen to this. Movement will come naturally. Don't scroll, because natural unfolding does not feel forced. Listen to this. You are not behind. You are exactly on schedule. Don't scroll, because divine timing accounts for healing, not just opportunity. Listen to this. Healing was necessary so you wouldn't bring old wounds into new spaces. Don't scroll, because old wounds distort perception. Listen to this. Perception is clear now. Don't scroll, because you see people and situations for what they are. Listen to this. Clarity protects you going forward. Don't scroll, because you won't have to guess again. Listen to this. Guessing belonged to the old season. Don't scroll, because this season is about knowing. Listen to this. Knowing does not argue with fear. Don't scroll, because fear no longer leads. Listen to this. God did not protect you just to leave you uncertain. Don't scroll, because certainty is being established quietly. Listen to this. What is coming will feel safe to receive. Don't scroll, because safety was the goal all along. Listen to this. You will recognize what is meant for you by how calm your body feels in its presence. Don't scroll, because your body now recognizes truth faster than your mind. Listen to this. That is spiritual maturity. Don't scroll, because maturity changes outcomes. Listen to this. The next part reveals how this preparation directly opens the door to what's ahead and why you won't miss it when it arrives. Stay here, because this unfolding is precise and intentional. Don't scroll, listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because this is the phase where protection matures into promise and the quiet work you couldn't see begins to show its shape. Stay with me, because this layer explains why the waiting didn't waste you and why the signs you're seeing now feel steadier instead of urgent. Listen closely. When God protects you, He doesn't just remove danger. He recalibrates your desire so you don't reach for what would pull you backward. Don't scroll, because desire is powerful and must be trained before destiny arrives. Listen to this. The reason your cravings shifted is because your spirit grew stronger than your habits. Don't scroll, because growth changes appetite. Listen to this. You may have noticed that what once felt irresistible now feels optional. Don't scroll, because optional means freedom. Listen to this. Freedom is the evidence that protection did its job. Don't scroll, because you're no longer bound by urgency. Listen to this. Urgency was replaced by discernment. Don't scroll, because discernment slows you just enough to choose wisely. Listen to this. God did not just guard your heart from harm, He guarded your future from haste. Don't scroll, because haste shortcuts wisdom. Listen to this. And wisdom is the gatekeeper of lasting blessing. Don't scroll, because lasting blessing must land on steady ground. Listen to this. That's why you've been seeing divine numbers at moments of calm rather than crisis. Don't scroll, because the message has changed. Listen to this. Seeing 222 now isn't about balance being restored, it's about balance being sustained. Don't scroll, because 222 confirms harmony that's already integrated. Listen to this. Integrated harmony avoids extremes. Don't scroll, because extremes exhaust the soul. Listen to this. Exhaustion used to be your signal to push harder. Don't scroll, because now it's your signal to pause. Listen to this. Pausing is power when you're aligned. Don't scroll, because alignment makes patience productive. Listen to this. You are no longer waiting in fear of missing out. Don't scroll, because fear has lost its leverage. Listen to this. Fear was quieted by understanding. Don't scroll, because understanding arrived through repetition of signs and peace. Listen to this. Seeing 333 during moments of reflection confirms integration between your thoughts, emotions, and intuition. Don't scroll, because 333 is the number of alignment made practical. Listen to this. Practicality is what turns faith into action. Don't scroll, because faith without grounding becomes fantasy. Listen to this. God grounded your faith so you wouldn't mistake intensity for instruction. Don't scroll, because instruction is subtle. Listen to this. Subtlety protects you from being swayed by appearances. Don't scroll, because appearances can deceive. Listen to this. You were protected from promises that sounded good but lacked follow-through. Don't scroll, because follow-through is the fruit of maturity. Listen to this. Maturity was cultivated in silence. Don't scroll, because silence stripped away performance. Listen to this. Performance attracts approval but not partnership. Don't scroll, because partnership requires presence. Listen to this. Presence is what God is preparing you to receive. Don't scroll, because presence feels calm, consistent, and clear. Listen to this. You may have seen 444 during moments you chose boundaries without apology. Don't scroll, because 444 confirms protection has become structure. Listen to this. Structure supports growth without strain. Don't scroll, because strain is no longer necessary. Listen to this. You've learned that effort does not equal alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment often feels easier than expected. listen to this. Ease does not mean lack of depth. Don't scroll, because ease means the load is shared. Listen to this. God is not calling you to carry everything alone anymore. Don't scroll, because that season is ending. Listen to this. The reason your expectations feel simpler now is because complexity was never the goal. Don't scroll, because simplicity sustains joy. Listen to this. Joy is part of your protection. Don't scroll, because joy guards the heart from settling for less. Listen to this. Settling was a risk before. Don't scroll, because familiarity can masquerade as fate. Listen to this. God removed familiar traps so you could recognize true alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment feels peaceful even when it challenges you. Listen to this. Challenge without chaos is the signature of divine movement. Don't scroll, because chaos belonged to lessons already learned. Listen to this. You may notice 555 appearing as a gentle nudge rather than a push. Don't scroll, because 555 now signals movement with consent. Listen to this. Consent means your spirit agrees with the next step. Don't scroll, because forced movement leads to regret. Listen to this. Regret was prevented by delay. Don't scroll, because delay protected your clarity. Listen to this. Clarity is why you're not tempted to chase closure anymore. Don't scroll, because closure settled inside you. Listen to this. Internal closure is stronger than external explanations. Don't scroll, because explanations can change but understanding remains. Listen to this. God gave you understanding without exposing you to pain. Don't scroll, because pain was not necessary for learning this time. Listen to this. Learning came through observation and restraint. Don't scroll, because restraint built self-trust. Listen to this. Self-trust is what allows you to move forward without second-guessing. Don't scroll, because second-guessing drains momentum. Listen to this. Momentum is returning now, but it's controlled. Don't scroll, because controlled momentum doesn't overwhelm. Listen to this. Overwhelm was a sign of misalignment before. Don't scroll, because alignment feels manageable. Listen to this. You're not bracing for impact anymore. Don't scroll, because your nervous system recognizes safety. Listen to this. Safety is why your body feels calmer around new possibilities. Don't scroll, because the body senses truth before the mind catches up. Listen to this. Seeing 606 or 666 during moments of emotional balance confirms harmony is anchored. Don't scroll, because harmony anchors decisions. Listen to this. Anchored decisions don't sway under pressure. Don't scroll, because pressure no longer dictates your choices. Listen to this. God removed pressure so wisdom could lead. Don't scroll, because wisdom leads gently. Listen to this. Gently does not mean weak. Don't scroll, because gentleness is strength under control. Listen to this. Controlled strength allows you to say yes without fear and no without guilt. Don't scroll, because guilt was a tool that once kept you stuck. Listen to this. Guilt has lost its grip because grace replaced it. Don't scroll, because grace is how God teaches without crushing. Listen to this. The protection you experienced also preserved your tenderness. Don't scroll, because tenderness is not weakness. Listen to this. It's sensitivity guided by boundaries. Don't scroll, because boundaries keep tenderness from becoming vulnerability to harm. Listen to this. You are still open-hearted but now discerning. Don't scroll, because discernment ensures you open to the right things. Listen to this. The right things won't rush you. Don't scroll, because rushing is a sign of misalignment. Listen to this. Alignment respects timing. Don't scroll, because timing protects joy. Listen to this. You may have seen 7 hours 77 minutes during moments you trusted without evidence. Don't scroll, because 7 77 Confirm spiritual authority activated through trust. Listen to this. Authority changes how you move. Don't scroll, because you no longer ask permission to honor your needs. Listen to this. Honoring your needs is not selfish. Don't scroll, because it's stewardship. Listen to this. God entrusted you with your heart and future. Don't scroll, because stewardship requires boundaries. Listen to this. Boundaries are now second nature to you. Don't scroll, because they feel like self-respect. Listen to this. Self-respect magnetizes aligned experiences. Don't scroll, because alignment responds to who you've become. Listen to this. Becoming was the purpose of the protection. Don't scroll, because protection without growth would be temporary. Listen to this. Growth made it permanent. Don't scroll, because permanence is what you needed. Listen to this. The next phase will not ask you to prove your worth. Don't scroll, because worth is already assumed. Listen to this. What approaches now will meet you at eye level. Don't scroll, because equality is the foundation of healthy partnership. Listen to this. Partnership does not drain. Don't scroll, because it reinforces. Listen to this. Reinforcement is how you'll recognize what's meant for you. Don't scroll, because what's meant for you will feel supportive without effort. Listen to this. Effort will be directed toward building, not convincing. Don't scroll, because convincing belongs to the past. Listen to this. The past has been honored and released. Don't scroll, because release created space. Listen to this. Space is where new life forms. Don't scroll, because formation requires quiet. Listen to this. Quiet is no longer threatening to you. Don't scroll, because you trust it now. Listen to this. Trusting quiet is a sign of maturity. Don't scroll, because maturity invites peace. Listen to this. Peace is the compass guiding you forward. Don't scroll, because the compass is steady. Listen to this. You are not lost. You are aligned. Don't scroll, because alignment ensures you won't miss what's meant for you. Listen to this. When it arrives, it won't compete with your peace. Don't scroll, because peace is the confirmation. Listen to this. And the next part reveals how this confirmation becomes movement and why you'll recognize the next door without doubt when it opens. Don't scroll. Listen to this. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, because this is the moment where protection, preparation, and promise finally converge. Stay with me, because this final layer reveals why everything had to happen exactly the way it did and how the divine numbers you're seeing now are no longer warnings but confirmations. Listen closely. When God finishes protecting you, He doesn't leave you standing still. He transitions you gently into alignment. Don't scroll, because alignment feels different than anticipation. Listen to this. Anticipation is restless. Alignment is calm and certain. Don't scroll, because certainty doesn't shout, it settles. Listen to this. You may have noticed that your reactions have changed, that situations which once would have unsettled you now pass without disturbing your peace. Don't scroll, because that is evidence of inner authority being restored. Listen to this. Authority is not control over others, it's steadiness within yourself. Don't scroll, because steadiness is what God was cultivating all along. Listen to this. The divine numbers appearing now reflect completion, not preparation. Don't scroll, because preparation already happened quietly. Listen to this. Seeing 909 or 999 during moments of reflection signals closure of a karmic cycle. Don't scroll, because 9 represents endings that free energy forward. Listen to this. Freedom is what you're feeling now, even if your life hasn't dramatically changed yet. Don't scroll, because freedom is internal first. Listen to this. Internal freedom removes desperation. Don't scroll, because desperation distorts perception. Listen to this. Perception is clear now. Don't scroll, because clarity is the foundation of discernment. Listen to this. Discernment allows you to recognize what belongs to you without